Hi, good day everyone. My name is Andy Ramdeen, and today I'll be doing a presentation on the topic of types of computer crime. Types of computer crimes. Numerous governments and private sector surveys show that computer crimes are increasing. It is difficult to estimate the economic impact of these crimes, however, because many are never detected or reported. It is not unreasonable to assume, however, that computer crimes result in billions of dollars in losses to companies in the worldwide economy. In general, computer crimes fall into two categories: crimes committed against the computer and crimes using the computer. Thus, short for denial of service and distributed denial of service. This is overloading or organizing system's resources so that it is unable to provide the required service. In the distributed mode, request for service from a particular resource can be launched from a large number of hosts where software has been planted to become active at a particular time or upon receiving a particular command. And a real-world example of a DOS attack was the U.S. banks in 2012, where 6 major banks across the United States, including Bank of America and J.P. Morgan Chase, were attacked by a distributed denial of service attack. The attack was carried out by hundreds of hijacked servers, which each created peak floods of more than 60 gigabytes of traffic per second. Thefts of passwords. I think this one explains itself. It's where you steal someone's passwords and use it to access their system, files, accounts, whatever. I think a local example of this would have been Health Minister Terence Singh. Someone recently hacked into his Facebook account and made posts, and they would have only been able to do so by obtaining his password. Network intrusions. This refers to any unauthorized activity on a digital network. Network intrusions often involve stealing valuable network resources and almost always jeopardize the security of the network and or their data. Emanation eavesdropping. Receipt and display of information which is resident on computers or terminals through the interception of radio frequency signals generated by those computers or terminals. The U.S. government established a program called Tempest that addressed this problem by requiring shielding and other emanation-reducing mechanisms to be employed on computers processing sensitive and classified government information. Social engineering. Using social skills to obtain information such as passwords or PIN numbers to be used in an attack against computer-based systems. A real-world example of this was back in 2013 when the Associated Press Twitter account was overtaken by the Syrian Electronic Army, SCA, and it posted a tweet which was saying there were 2 explosions in the White House and Barack Obama is injured. Within moments of that tweet, the stock market dropped. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 100 points as the tweet was retweeted, and the Standard & Poor Index fell about 1%, briefly losing $136 billion in value before quickly rebounded. The SCA was able to gain access to the Twitter account through a phishing email sent to several Associated Press employees. Illegal content of material. This kind of explains itself, but it's basically having in your possession illegal content. Example of this could be child abuse, child pornography, terrorism and extremist content, intellectual property content, and stuff and so forth. Fraud. Using computers or the internet to perpetrate crimes such as auctioning materials that will not be delivered after receipt of payment. We all know of this, and there are local examples such as like the Facebook car dealers. Some people has put up cars on Facebook for sale. When you go to meet them, you see a car. Software piracy. This is the illegal copying and use of software. We all know of this, from gaming to Microsoft Word. We all make pirate copies and install them on our computers, or have done so, or know someone who has done so. That is known as software piracy. Dumpster diving. This is obtaining sensitive data such as manuals and trade secrets by gathering information that has been discarded as garbage in dumpsters or at recycling locations. Malicious code. Programs such as viruses, Trojan horses, and worms that, when activated, cause DOS or destruction or modification of information on computers. A recent example of this, of an attack, would have been ConfidLock, which was a ransomware. This yourself. It was a fear in relation to the COVID-19 that has been widely exploited by cybercriminals. ConfidLock ransomware is an example. This type of ransomware infects victims via malicious files promising to offer more information about the disease. The problem is that once it is installed, ConfidLock encrypts data from Android devices and denies access to victims. To be granted access to your device, to your data, you must pay a ransom of $100 per device. Spoofing of IP addresses. This is inserting a false IP address into a message to disguise the original location of the message or to impersonate an unauthorized source. Information warfare. Attacking the information infrastructure of a nation, including military and governmental networks, communication systems, power grids, and the financial community, to gain military and or economic advantages. A real-life example of this would be in 1999 when the US air intelligence computers were hit by a coordinated attack, part of which came from a Russian mainframe. Espionage is the act of obtaining secret or confidential information or divulging the same without permission of the holder of the information. A famous example of an espionage case was in 1997 involving Gillette, where a man was charged with wire fraud and theft of trade secrets from Gillette. Stephen Davis stole information concerning a new shaving system that had been developed by the company. Destruction or alteration of information. This explains itself. It's basically destroying a file, destroying a folder, changing a figure in a file, there, or forging of a signature. This would fall under that. Scripts. Use of readily available attack scripts on the internet. Scripts which have been developed by others and are readily available through the internet that can be employed by unskilled individuals to launch attacks on networks and computing resources. Masquerading. Pretending to be someone else, usually to gain higher access privileges to information that is resident on network systems. Embezzlement, illegally acquiring funds usually through manipulation and falsification of financial statements. A kind of recent example of embezzlement would be Alan Stanford. I'm not sure if some of you would remember him, but he was the one who had the Stanford 2020 cricket tournament back in 2006, 2007, around there. He had a large Ponzi scheme. He was the owner and CEO of Stanford Financial Group of Companies, and with his status, he was able to con people out of 8 billion. He was sentenced to a 110-year prison sentence. Data diddling. This is an attack where information in the computer is changed. This could involve changing financial or medical records, stealing passwords, prevent users from gaining access to the machines by changing passwords and such. Terrorism or cyberterrorism is the use of internet to conduct violent acts that results in or threatens loss of life or significant bodily harm in order to achieve political or ideological gains through threat or intimidation. A real-life example of this, I believe, would be the ISIS state, where they was to use the internet to recruit new members and broadcast their attacks, the beheadings of their captors and people such as the US journalists and the British reporters and whatnot. That would be an example of terrorism. And that brings us to the conclusion of the presentation. Unfortunately, for some of the crimes, I was unable to find examples. There were hints of examples, but it wasn't 100% clear whether it would fall into that category of crime. So I decided to leave it out. But if you all can think of any crimes, feel free to put it in the comments. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment sections. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.